So Hasbro released their Doctor Doom in about 2019 or so, and that was actually a really good release. Mezco has just released their Doctor Doom, and I've been wondering if it's actually worth upgrading to the Mezco one, or if the Marvel Legends one actually is enough for my needs. So we're gonna take a look at how the Mezco Doctor Doom compares to the Marvel Legends Doctor Doom in terms of articulation, current pricing, as well as accessories. So stick around and we're gonna get right into it. So here are all of our Dooms. And starting from the back, we have our first release Doom, which was part of the Scroll Wave. We have the Retro Doom, and then we have the God Doom from the Zenmu Wave. And this is our latest Doom, which is from the 2-pack with Captain Marvel. And I'm going to refer to this one as the Secret Wars Doom. I know that the white one is also kind of Secret Wars because it's Secret Wars 2, but I'm going to go with God Doom because that's just easier to say, and then Secret Wars Doom. And then of course our Mezco Doom, again, just released. And in terms of pricing, we are looking at about 40 to 50 for our Scroll Doom. We're looking at about 50 for our Retro Doom. Our God Doom is actually looking at about 20, and then our Secret Wars Doom is anywhere from 20 to 30 bucks. Mezco Doom is $155 brand new, but I managed to get him on a really good deal. Somebody was selling him, and I got him for $100. So while the review will be considered at $155 for the retail pricing, just consider that you might be able to get it for less or a little bit more depending on when you're watching this and how popular this Mezco Doom becomes. So as you can see, I have the accessories for our Legends Dooms displayed right in front of them. First off, our regular Doom has 2 different heads. And as you can see, both heads are actually different on top of the fact that the hood is different as well. The hands on this one are a gripping hand because he also comes with a gun that's already holstered in here, as well as an open hand on this side. And he comes with a pair of fists. Our Retro Doom is on the same body, and so he also has the same holster with the same gun in his holster as well. You can see that the hands are also the same between the two on there, and then he actually comes with a pair of fists, some energy effects, some blast effects, a nullifier that we first saw with Reed Richards. And he actually comes with 2 different books, but I only have this one. I'll put up a picture of what the other one looks like right here. You can see that our God Doom looks very different, although it's just a retool of our regular Doom. And so you can see that he still has a gun holster and a gun in that holster. So his hands are a little bit different because he's got these 2 like weird sprawled out hands. And then he's got a right gripping hand for that gun, a left fist, and a right gripping hand. And this gripping hand is for this skull and spine. So this is technically Thanos' skull and spine when he rips it out. And finally, our Secret Wars Doom is actually very different from the other ones. It's a retool of an Iron Man body as opposed to being a retool of the Doom body. As far as accessories go, he's got 2 different hands on there. One is an open hand, another one is a semi-open hand. Then he's got a pair of fists. This is also our first civilian head for Doom, and he comes with the hood down. And this is also the first time we get just a separate mask. This can't actually go on the civilian head and stay, unfortunately, as it will just fall off, but it's really meant for him to hold more than it is for it to be attached. And I think that's why it's got that other hand on the left side to hold this guy. Now we'll look at our Mezco Doom's accessories, and it's a lot. So you can see that he's got 2 fists by default, and he's got a slew of hands. So right here we've got a flat hand, then we've got these reaching hands, and then we have these kind of slightly reaching, slightly gripping hands. These ones I like to think of as like choking hands. We've got some web hands, but this is more like when he is using magic. We've got some gripping hands, and then we've got 2 different hands right here. This one is for his gun because he's got a trigger finger, and then we've got a pointing hand right here. And just so you can see, this is a pouch that can attach to his belt. Speaking of belt, he has an alternate belt, and it's pretty much the same as the one that he's currently wearing, with the obvious difference being this second portion down here. And it pops off like that and pops right back in. And both of them are removed in the same way. Along with that, we also have a holster for him. And so this would attach just right on here. This does come out just a bit, and it can attach like that. Now for that holster, we also have a gun, and it fits in like so. And here's how the Legends gun looks like compared to the Mezco gun. So you can see kind of similar in concept, but the Mezco one is obviously much more detailed and specific to Doom. He also comes with his own magic book, which is neat, and it actually opens. I pre-opened this, but this does snap closed. but you can actually even see that it actually has text in there. It all looks like it's just random symbols. If it is actually something specific and you know, then let me know in the comments below. And here's how it compares to the Retro Doom's magic book. Retro Doom's book doesn't actually close at all, it just stays open like that. The book also comes with this accessory, so this would attach to the stand arm, so you can put the book in the stand like that and you can see it's holding, and then you would open it up and display it to a page for your display. This is the first of several Blast accessories. I believe these ones are meant for his feet because Doom can fly using his suit. And finally, we have multiple different masks and heads. So these are the two alternate masks that we get with Doom. And the rightmost one is the default one that the figure comes with on. And they can all just be press fitted to the head. Speaking of the head, he kind of looks like a RoboCop, but he also has an alternate head with a scar on his face. And that actually looks really good. That's really well done. And you can see where the grooves are for how the masks attach to the head. I'm perfectly happy with the default mask that they have on him. Next up, we have some more energy accessories. So you can see that he's got 2 additional hands that have these energy lightning kind of looking things directly attached to them. And then we've got these blue energy accessories as well. These would just like wrap around his hands or his arms. So you can see we have several more energy effect pieces. So these 2 actually will attach to, these are ones which I'll show you in a second. This one is for the gun. So this one is actually for his finger because sometimes he shoots an energy blast out of his finger. And of course he's got the stand, but there's not really a whole lot to show about the stand, but that's a pretty standard Mezco thing. And this one would attach to his hand like he's shooting energy directly from the hand in a beam kind of shape. And to finish out his energy effects, we do have this magical energy effect, which is actually really cool looking. I like that a lot. And this would just wrap around his hand as well. So he's got these 2 pieces which actually attach to his back. So looking at Doom, and we're gonna flip his cape up and you can see that he's got these 2 pieces on the back and these just pop off. So it pops off. And it would attach like that. And so you know that this is the correct orientation because that's the port where you would attach your Blast accessory, like so, as if he's flying, and the top side does not have a port at all. So this port doesn't just hold the trim piece for it, but it actually also can attach this big old guy. So this thing is super neat, but as you can see, it would attach like that. So if you were to do it, the arms do have a level of pliability to them so that you can kind of just move around as you need to. And so you would have it around back like that, and then this would just plug into that port right there. You change out the hand so that he's holding onto it, and then he'd be holding what they're calling the cosmic power siphon harness. And yeah, so this thing actually also takes batteries. Unfortunately, the batteries appear to be dead unless the unit is actually faulty, so I can't show you how it lights up, but it's going to be this light, and then these 2 lights on the side are lit up. It articulates up and down, and it articulates left and right, which is pretty nice. And it also includes this kind of heads-up display, which would attach here, and then this itself would also light up if you had batteries in there and you turn it on. So this is a really cool piece to have. I like that a lot. So in terms of accessories, obviously the Mezco one has much better accessories just because there's also so many more. So the Mezco definitely wins in that regard, but at the cost of $155, it's really going to depend on if you even really feel the need to have a lot of those accessories or not, or if you can get away with just having the ones that you already have. A lot of Legends reuse their effects pieces, and a lot of the ones that we see in the Mezco set look a lot like what we see in the Legends line as well. And now for some real direct comparisons of the Mezco to the Legends. First, I actually want to look at the heads. And specifically, here's how the Mezco civilian head looks like compared to our Legends civilian head. Obviously very different molds, but I figured this might be something that people are interested in seeing, and more specifically how it might look on the body. So this doesn't actually sit on there very well at all. You can see it's very loose. That's a very different ball joint compared to what the Legends one is. So you're gonna need a little bit of a sticky tack to make it sit right in there. So I used a bit of Play-Doh, but you can see that actually looks really good. I like how that looks. I think that's a great civilian Doom head. That green is just the Play-Doh squeezed out, but you can see how that looks really good. Next up here is a comparison of the masks of our regular Legends Doom and our Mezco Doom. So the heads are obviously very differently sized. I think that the Mezco Doom actually makes more sense because the mask is attached, but with our Legends one, the mask is kind of one with the head, meaning that the head is actually kind of tiny if you think about it. But otherwise, in terms of the sculpt, they both look good, but I don't think they're especially interchangeable. Here's how the Doom head might look if you were to put it on there, and personally, I think that's a little bit too small looking. Wouldn't look right to me. Here's a comparison of the other mask. These two are similar to each other, which is why I'm showing you the comparison of these two. And yeah, so you see that there are no rivets in this mask. And for the sake of completion, here's how the two different riveted Mezco masks look next to the Legends Doom riveted mask. You can see that our Legends Doom has much more square eyes, but our Mezco ones have kind of more eye-shaped eye holes. And that holds true with our other Dooms as well, between the two other green Dooms. But you can see with God Doom that it's got similar eye holes, being more shaped like eyes than being square. And again, for the sake of completion, here's how all the different riveted heads look between the three different Legends and the one Mezco. Now, in terms of articulation, this thing is, I think, pretty unique amongst the Mezco line, because the thing that I really like about this is the heft, because these are actually made of some kind of metal, and it's really cool. I like it a lot. It's seriously really heavy compared to any other, really most Mezcos and any of the Legends figures. And so I'm not sure if it being made of metal or seeming like made of metal changed how they designed it for articulation, but it does have some limited articulation. So starting from the bottom, the foot actually is pretty typical, I think. Maybe even a little bit better than some other Mezcos. So we get our back and forth, we get our tilt like that. I think this is a better tilt than we've seen elsewhere. And then moving up the leg, we have a little better than 90-degree articulation at the knee. Coming up to the hip, we can come out like that, and we can come out this far without being obstructed by the uniform of Doom, but that's about it, because as you can see, it kind of gets stuck there, so he can't go into the splits if that's a thing that you were actually wanting to do. But with it down, you can only go so far before the uniform would start splitting at the seams. And we have a bit of swivel with the legs, but it doesn't go all the way around because the swivel is actually based on the hip articulation. With our arms, the cape doesn't obstruct articulation, at least in this direction, which is nice. We do have bicep swivel, which is nice there too. With our elbow articulation, we're looking at a 90 degrees. Our forearm cannot articulate by itself, and then our hand has typical articulation. As far as our waist, he can turn left and right a bit, but he doesn't seem to be able to go much further than this, because I think it's because of his uniform again, or his tunic. And then as far as ab crunch, he's not really wanting to go more than that. And that might just be a design of the body and not his tunic. I do really like the cape though, because this actually is magnetic, and the chain is a real chain, of course. And so we can just pull off the cape like so, and we have this Doom without the cape. So he's a little bit closer to our Secret Wars Doom in this kind of fashion. Articulation for the head is pretty standard, I think. It is on a bit of a ball joint, and so you can go left and right, and the ups and the downs, of course. It is nice that the hood both has a wire around and going through the top, so you can do a bit of articulation with our hood. Now, comparing that with our Legends articulation, I do believe that this body for Doom was brand new at that time, and so starting from the bottom, we can go back and forth, we can tilt, we have better articulation for our knee. This is closer to a 45 degree. Our swivel for the hip goes a little bit further, even though it doesn't go the whole way around. But we come up with a similar situation of the tunic getting in the way of articulation. This time because this tunic is made of plastic as opposed to our cloth tunic. And so you can only come up so far before it's really obstructing your ability to articulate. Coming out isn't nearly as bad, but it's not nearly as easy either because it is split on the side, but it's still plastic, so it still gets in the way a whole lot. Arm articulation is similar to the Mezco. You come all the way around, bicep swivel, 90-degree elbow, and then twisting hand. Our ab crunch is also similar to the Mezco, where you can kind of twist back and forth a bit, and really the crunch itself is actually, I'd say, a little bit better than our Mezco, but not by a lot. The cape can technically also be removed on the Legends one. You have to remove the head first in order to get it off, and otherwise it's just pegged into the back. One of the nice things about the Legends one is that it does have the boosters in here molded in already as well. But again, you also get your own version of that on the Mezco one. And really, the other Dooms are effectively the same as this Legends one, with the exception of the Secret Wars Doom. That one is going to articulate probably better than the rest of these, since it's not really based on the same kind of knight armor that this Doom is. But we're trying to answer the question of, do you need to upgrade to this Mezco Doom? I'd say, barring you being a really huge Doom fan, I would say no if you're happy with your Legends Doom. If you don't have a Legends Doom to begin with, then you're looking at for about 40 to 50 bucks for this Doom. And I'm using that one just because this one is the closest in style to this one. But then you run into some other issues because the cape doesn't articulate very well. It definitely gets in the way of articulation. And so if you want to upgrade that, you're looking at about 40 bucks. I found a listing on eBay for an aftermarket tunic that you could apply to him. And so then you're getting close to, $90 to $100 on that alone. And then you're still not even considering all the accessories that he comes with. So if you even like some of those accessories and you're going to try to get those as well, then you're looking at whatever that additional cost might be. And at that point, if you can get him for retail or less, then really getting the Mezco Doom is a better bet. Again, if you don't already have a Legends Doom that you're happy with. Personally, there's a really good chance I might just get rid of my 2 Legends Dooms over here and use this one in their place. Overall, it's definitely a better figure. And if I can get almost $100 between the 2 of those, then this guy will be almost free for me since I paid 100 bucks for him. Let me know what you would buy if you were in the market for a Doom. And if you like these kinds of videos, then you should check out the other comparison I did over here.